Not content with waiting until next week before I crack on with this, I need the angle grinder to do some work. They're not going to be in the garage for that much longer today, so I bought myself this. Haven't I already got one of those? Go to work. Bit of a grind off there, and now I can see much better what needs more attention and which bits I'm satisfied with. We can see there's a couple of bits I need to dab a bit more in. It's a bit worse over here, but I haven't finished grinding it off just yet. And same here. And then at some point, because this isn't an MOT failure, I'm going to cut this section out and then remake this section. Gosh, I'm feeling adventurous. And I need to tidy this up as well. After a few more spots, I'm now sure that there are no holes anywhere. I've just got lots and lots of grinding to do. Even that bit there, there aren't any holes. I can't poke the wire through, so it must be solid. However, I've blown a hole in it there. A hole in my cardboard. Another bit of welding, another bit of grinding, another bit of welding, and a bit more grinding. From here, it doesn't look too bad. So there are just a couple. Is that a hole there? No, it's not. It's just a shiny bit. There are a couple of tiny little holes left. That isn't a hole. I just need to grind it back a bit more. And I need to weld a bit more to this part as well. Now, since starting this job, cutting this piece out and making this plate, I have watched an awful lot of reels. You know our reels on Facebook? If you watch one all the way to the end, you get more of that kind of thing sent to you. That's how the algorithm works. It's great. And suddenly I found myself watching all sorts of videos about metal shaping, and I'm finding it fascinating. And this particular job is going to be covered up by the sill anyway, so it's not really important that it's incredibly tidy. But it's fueling my bravery, and that can only be a good thing. There's a couple of blobs, but that's how it should sound. As a man of very little experience and the stubbornness to match the inability to simply go on a welding course, I just like to figure things out for myself. Noisy. I'm making mistakes, but I'm learning by them. And I'm having what you might call a whale of a time. So much so that I thought 3 hours would be plenty of time for me to just come down here, do a few bits, and promise my wife that I'd be home at 7. Well, it's now nearly 7, and it's felt like half an hour. Now, I'm not about to start rattling aimlessly on about something irrelevant to this video or the whole context, but instead I'm just going to cut straight to tomorrow, where you can see me back full of beans, wanting to get on with this thing, ready to have a wonderful day. On this day, I shall complete this job. yes, I may be getting ahead of myself a little bit, but let's see. It's a promise to myself. When's summer going to start? It's just drizzle all the time. Precipitation is no friend of mine. And my eye, it appears that I've caught myself a little bit of the old sunburn or arc eye. I woke up thinking I had an eyelash in there or some bit of grit or something like that, and ended up just going back to sleep for a bit because I just like that. Oh, that's horrible. And then, you know, it dawned on me that a couple of times I did catch the torch, because metal gluing the bottom part of the sill is difficult because the helmet keeps falling off. So it's just taking this approach of sticking the nozzle on there, covering my eyes up, squirt, and there we go. Leave it, take off. A little bit of drizzle isn't going to put me off. This should be okay for that. But just looking at this now, I'm thinking I need to take it a step further. Having blown a hole in that part there, now it looks like a metal cauliflower. I need to do a better job of that. And this part here, it's looking a bit rough, but there's a lot of filler in there. Otherwise it feels quite solid, so I'm going to grind that back. As suspected, let's make a plate. Okie dokie, let's see how well this lines up. The rain's starting to get just a little bit too much now, but I've had to bring the welder in because I'm a bit worried about damage. But having fit this part here, it still needs a bit more, but I'm going to grind it back and see how it looks. Can I say this without my video getting flagged? My grinding technique is definitely getting a lot better, but my penetration still not quite there. The shape of the metal's actually quite good, and I've ground it back just right along there, but there were little holes or little bits, not loads, but just, you know, it looks worse on the camera than it does through my own eyes. This is the point where, you know, I could just put some filler in there, because it's going to need a little tiny skim, whatever the case, because it's I can't leave it like that. But do I leave it for today and come back tomorrow and do some more? Just blob it into the holes. Half the trouble is the metal I'm putting on is a bit thicker than the existing metal, which just sprayed a bit of zinc on it, and that helps show up even better where the flaws are, and there are loads of them. Right, now as I close the door I can see that it needs a bit more taken off there anyway. It's not exactly lined up properly, is it? That's a bit better. I wish it did look a bit better altogether. Now I need another tiny bit welding in, because I ground it so thin I didn't quite get it flush in the first place, so it's sticking out, and as I've ground through it, it's just ground itself completely into oblivion. All that work I did shaping that piece of metal. I'm under no illusion here that I'm doing a particularly good job, but I am doing a job. There's bound to be somebody who's watching this who is an experienced welder going on the old, all that kind of thing. Yeah, for sure. Perhaps you should adjust your gas settings. Well, that's it, I'm not using gas. I've got that blower though. I've got, what is it, the turbo blower thing I had sent to me. I did a small video on it, cooling a cup of tea down and stuff. I could actually incorporate that into this if only I knew where it was, but since I've lost it. I remember it's in the boot of the Volvo, and I've not used the Volvo for about a week, so no wonder I've struggled to find it. The rain isn't really an inconvenience now, because it is actually time for me to go. I've got to be home at a particular time this evening so my lady wife can go out, and that means packing up. Join me in the next episode of Let's Watch an Incompetent Man Try and Stick Some Bits of Metal Together, where I shall carry on forging away, fighting against ineptitude for the... what the bloody hell? Gosh, that was a dangerous overtake, mate. Thank you so much for tolerating my learning of something that's going to take me a little while to get yet. Big thank you to all of the followers of this channel, long term and short term. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for commenting, thanks for being a channel member. I shall see you in a couple of days. Go! Go! Come on, let's go! Let's go! It's Friday, I've got that Friday feeling. The pig is squealing and I'm going to fix this car at 5 o'clock in fact. or it might even be beyond that now.